Classes come and go. Really just introductions and messing around. Don't elementary school kids sit in the same classroom the whole time? Like, don't... Let's high school and like middle school, it's more common, but in elementary school, I'm pretty sure you just sit in one room, right? Or do elementary school kids already go around and have lockers? That's so weird. You Americans are weird. One person can know elementary school science and math and everything. What the hell? I guess saying snooze is now out a swear word. Do not use it. Classes come and go, and it's really just introductions and messing around. Like, elementary school kids... Okay, here's the thing, right? Elementary school kids are, like, in one class. As far as I can tell, it makes more sense. Because they need to socialize more, and it's really hard to socialize if you're just blending around, which makes more sense as you grow up, and, you know, you can make your social circles outside of school. But why the fuck would you mix and match elementary school kids every single fucking class? Do you really want all those kids walking around the place every time? Already, I knew recess was going to be pandemonium, seeing as a bunch of hyped-up 6-year-olds who had been kept in class all day were finally going to be released into the yard. You're saying that like it's a fucking prison yard, my man. So after a brief look at where the older elementary school students sat, Olivia and I decided to follow along, going from the middle of this broad cafeteria to the edge. Far away and pulling out our lunchboxes as the dinosaurs crowded and mewed about a few tables down. Yeah, you don't have to worry about going to the lunch. No lunch money. Then again, I don't know American education. Good place. Olivia commented happily before digging through her bag, having already put her lunchbox on the table beside mine. Yep, it sure is. It's nice and quiet. I turned my head to her. You're gonna I already see Olivia with her... What does it keep doing? Please stop that. It terrifies me when files stop working. I need a new music player, because Windows Music Player it just has a stick up its butt somewhere. And it ain't working. Olivia with her newly given notebook. I already see Olivia with her newly given notebook, busily doodling as she held half a sandwich in her claw, nibbling that every so often. Shrugging, I decided to do the same. Mine is the drawing before I noticed two familiar figures rolled by. Doe and Warden. They take notice of Olivia and I, looking at one another before approaching. Doe with her own lunchbox, and Warden with a tray of food brought from the lunch ladies. I guess they do. American schools are fucking weird. Hey, can we... Doe gestured at the seat across from us. Yeah, go ahead. I nod. Olivia briefly looking up for her notebook before looking back down at the other students as the other two students sit. Doe opened her lunchbox to silently eat what looked to be pasta. Fucking pasta? Why are you giving your elementary school kid pasta? They're gonna be so messy when they get home. They're gonna need like 15 napkins just to get their hands clean. While Warden ate a simple steak off of his tray. What we learn in Wani, like they eat raw meat. Like they eat raw meat and they think it's great. Anon has eaten raw meat by this point, right? How did he feel about that? Is there a mental hang-up, or is his body just like, nah, man, no, fam, I gotcha. Hey, what are you drawing? Olivia looked up from her notebook, a hint of surprise on her features before she peered at me, looking for guidance. To that, I simply shrugged, giving her the same reassuring smile as usual. She makes her choice, holding her notebook close to her and away from prying eyes. It's not ready yet. Olivia explained it off. Doe seemed disappointed, but nods in understanding. Warden now speaks up.
And, did you hear Mrs. P's voice?
To that, I scrunch my face up, snout tightening. Warden, we share the same homeroom. Seriously, is this how American schools work? That's so weird. Of course, I heard her. He perked up again.
What about my dad? I've seen him smoke. Will his voice get deeper?
The Allosaurus whirred. I opened my snout, leaning for Doe to beat me to the punch. Why does this keep happening? I guess the music's just busted today. Let me see if I can get something alternative. YouTube. Snoot Game OST. What's this? Please don't actually play the sound, thank you. What was the song we just did? I forgot. Those other two weirdos. How do I loop this? Like, you can loop YouTube. There you go. Loop. Looping on. YouTube should be a bit more stable, at least. I opened my snout only for Doe to beat me to the punch. Hold on, just make sure the audio is proper. Yeah.
Don't worry, it's only girls who get it if they smoke.
Doe declares her clearly fact-checked declaration.
Which is why I'll never smoke. Me too.
Woden agrees anyway. I smile. There's supposed just something endearing about watching 6-year-olds try to understand stuff, putting their own developing perspective, which would have been would be shadowed by a simple explanation of a parent. Maybe I can find one that's a bit longer. This is why I look for extended versions of things, because they work a bit better. Extend it to 5 minutes. Is that enough? Is 5 minutes enough? Well, 5 minutes is what we got. It's good enough.
We'll make it work, buddies.
But now, it was just them, yeah, trying to figure stuff out in life. Damn, when did I get so philosophical? When have my bully sense gone off? My eyes cautiously peer at a group of dinos a table away, probably group 5 or 4. Their gazes flittering between us as they whispered eagerly amongst each other, just about able to pick up words such as skinny and compy. As soon as I saw them all collectively stand up and approach, I resisted the urge to sigh. Headed. What headed? They're headed. They are headed by a smirking Giganotosaurus. Hold on. See, this is, again, why you don't have elementary school kids just walking around. They're gonna get in trouble. Hey! Warden and Doe turn from their conversation. Olivia's raising an eye from a drawing as I cross my claws. You kids are in our seats.
Weren't they like 10?
Regardless of the irony of that statement, you kids are in our seats. Regardless of the irony of the statement, Doe nervously peers away as Warden awkwardly murmurs a sorry. The two of them getting ready to rise up. Only I wasn't going to accept this shit laying down. That's not how this works, Anon. I was going to... Tiny, you're just a little man. You're going to get your ass kicked. Don't bother, please. On top of that, the situation's a little weird. Because there was nothing this group of dumbass kids could do to scare me. Not anymore. I mean, I guess you're a kid. You probably recover from pretty much anything they can throw at you. Don't listen to them. Sit where you want. Wait, let me say that in Solace Creek's voice. Don't listen to them. Sit where you want. Doe and Warden paused as the attention of the bully group turned to me. The Giganotosaurus' eyes lock onto mine, and I don't shy away. The big dinosaur snout widening with a grin. Whoa, is this for real? He then moved to the other side, Olivia briefly peering at me and keeping a notebook out of sight. Her eyes narrowed as I noticed her claw holding a sharpened pencil. Oh shit, she's about to shank a bitch! Olivia, you can't just shank a motherfucker because you feel like it. Not in high school, or elementary school, or in any school. They send you off to one of those weird schools where things go bad. Good if you want to write a story, but otherwise not. A single look I sent was able to convey it and not get herself in trouble day one by killing someone. Olivia softened her grip on the makeshift weapon as the Giganotosaurus arrived. See, seriously, don't use big words like that too often. I understood why Olivia isn't left for that. She's one gator cheeseburger apocalypse. Attention thankfully put away from my foster sibling. But nonetheless, she seemed ready to defend me. Oh yeah, things are different now. The figgy little compy is telling us to back off. It takes me a moment to remember that 201,000,2007 is a different time. No touch phones getting whipped to catch potential drama. And I didn't rely on this dude's power level to lead to social suicide. In other words, he was on a no risk of getting cancelled. Oh no. Fuck it. Fight will fire with fire. Jesus Christ, Adam, where the hell was this fire when you were 18? I mean, I guess he's like 23 at this point, age-wise, so he's probably like kind of, you know, he's getting to that point where he's slowly realizing that it doesn't fucking matter what anyone thinks, you know? He's like, man, what the fuck does a 10-year-old give a shit about that, man? I'm out of here in like 10 years. Fuck you. No, I'm telling a dumbass gignog to go away. Rapped to Jesus saying that felt cringy for some reason. It sounded a lot better in my head. Or if posted it on Turkmenistan freedom fighter forum. But real life was different, and was a different and disappointing story. At least it seemed to work. So, I'm just gonna... If you do the math, Anon won't see this guy in high school, will he? High school is like 4 years. The difference is 5 years. Anon will never see this guy again once he leaves elementary school, as far as I can tell. Maybe middle school, but not high school. He'll already be in college by then. The Giganotosaurus was caught off guard by my sudden use of vocabulary that was definitely not fit for a first grader. My own group silently watching the exchange as I looked to them away from their leader. What? Silently watching the exchange as I looked to them away from their leader, ignoring the surprised gazes of my own Olivia and my own group. Stop saying own. You're overusing the word in this sentence. Just keep it simple, buddy. Implicit. Implicit words exist. I'm not even asking you guys to do much. Just go away from my table. I shrug, hopefully finding a more persuasive solution in the future for a few insults from my way. We're doing Wait, is this the other guy? Oh no, this is Anon saying something. I'm not even asking you guys to do much, just go back to your table. Shrug. Hope we find a more persuasive solution in this exchange for a few insults slung my way. You were doing fine where you were before. Why'd you come over and bother us? That seemed to strike a chord with them. They started scrumming, murmuring at each other, as if to try and come up with an explanation. The Giganotosaurus' snout tightens, clearly pissed off now that I had made his posse act without his consent. So, my problem here is, like, describe his face scrunching up in anger. I don't know, the snout is just distracting from your capacity to describe things at this point. Noses can twitch, lips can quiver. Just saying, man. Get it out of your system as fast as you can. He was growling now, showing off his sharp teeth and narrowed gaze. But what was he really going to do with me? Now that a few of the students were watching, there was no way he could just outright manhandle me off my chair without getting into trouble. To that, I smiled like a little shit. No! For a moment, I actually did grow a bit worried. The Giganotosaurus was looking ready to eviscerate me, only for him to turn away with a sneer, calling to the group. Hey, Ferris! A pudgy Carnotaurus, who looked far more distant from his fellow friends, stepped away from the group, nervously peering as his tiny arms seemed to fiddle each other.
Yeah?
Get this! What did I call him again? Hold on. Get this faggy compy off my seat. The Giganotosaurus grumbles as he walks off, my eyes blinking. Holy shit, what giant fucking pussy this guy was. I would have expected him more if he actually had gone away and roughed me up. But I'm not given much time to react to the sudden shift to proxy bullying, as the Carnotaurus arrives and shoves me right off with his big head. My immune form pushed off the seat as I quickly stand up, spotting a safe area. Doe and Warden looked horrified. Olivia looked ready to fucking shank a bitch. Somehow I'm still talking. Really? You're gonna get that one expendable friend to do your Wait, excuse me. We need the big man voice. Really? You're going to get that one expendable friend of yours to do your dirty work? I then begin to cautiously move to the destination, looking to the Carnotaurus to plead out of earshot. He literally called you fat ass. Come on, man. Friends, do not do that. I could kind of guess what the deal was. The Carnotaurus was the kind of kid who was complicit because of his lack of real social life. Probably withstanding the verbal abuse because it was the only group he knew. My boy seemed to briefly resonate with the bigger dinosaur, hanging his head down and shake it as if ashamed before another command rang out. Laughter threatening to break out the voice.
Hey, grab him and put him in the trash can.
The Carnotaurus turned to me, murmuring a sorry as he steps forward. Well, so was I. Because I arrived where I was aiming for, the corner. And I'm doing the mad shuffle. Motherfucker going scoot, 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 left and right. You know, I don't think the song's really appropriate at this anymore. I know exactly what song we need for this. Let's see if we can get this fucking thing to work. I think it's You Can't Say Here I'm thinking of. No. The corner. I stand there as the Carnotaurus' giant snout bumps against the edges. His stumps or arms stretching out to try and grab me. Yet I'm entirely out of reach due to the angle, standing there with a blank expression on my face as I peer past the Carnotaurus' struggling form. Warden having disappeared while Doe looked on with worry. Guess because she's snow-eyed. Olivia, on the other hand, looked ready to burst out in laughter at the sight, and immediately I was close to it as well. Who would win? A deadly 200-pound Carnotaurus or the fucking corner? Jesus Christ, Anon. He's 10 years old! Jesus! You're an ass. I'm actually not familiar with what Carnotaurus is. Let me look one up. Oh, it's like a T-Rex, but smaller. Man, he's got a big head. But it's not wide, is the problem. How the fuck can he not grab Anon? We need a snout counter. You know what? You're free to make one yourself once I upload the recordings. Go for it, my man. Just look where the audio spikes as I scream my lungs out in frustration. Or just look up the actual thing itself. And I'll use the next stream or something. I don't fucking know. You know what? Scary Dave, consider this your homework. Actually, I could do it too. But I'm lazy. You could go through the last chapters 1 to 6. Count, just use Control F and look up all the snouts. And then give me that number and I'll just put a snout counter up somewhere. And for next time, I guess. This man used the word snout 10, 20 times a chapter.
What the hell are you doing, fat ass?
The angered yell of the Gigantanosaurus broke me away from my thoughts. Carnotaurus and I blinking at each other as we both looked to the source.
I can't reach him.
Then use your teeth.
That seemed to be the final straw. The Carnotaurus pulling away from the corner as a scowl grew on his snout.
What?
I stepped away from the corner looking between the two students.
My parents told me it's super dangerous to bite someone.
I have to say, I had a lot more respect for him now, since, you know, he's might be pudgy, but he's standing up for himself.
So I'm not doing that, Jeremy.
The bully Giganus, the bully Devil Ho, now revealed to be Jeremy, looks taken aback before his snout curves into a snarl. He loves his snouts curving. We got 3 curving snouts.
Rep to Jesus, how much of a big fucking baby are you listening to your mama and pop?
So he has to listen to you? Oh wait, no. So he has to listen to you? I finally speak out, ditching the... We're done. I speak out, ditching the corner to stand beside the Carnotaurus. Who says this? Oh, better he has them to listen to than your fatherless tale. Anon, you can't just accuse a man of being fatherless. You gotta do your research, my man. A second later, silence. At that moment, I knew I fucked up. I absolutely, 100%, unapologetically, mega, just monster combo fucked up Shit-face my ass. Because the look Jeremy gave me wasn't one of anger or annoyance, but just pure primal fury. Like he'd regressed back to a feral state and was ready to snack on a little compy that had wandered too close to his maw. He charged right over the table, knocking over a few... How the hell has not a single teacher even noticed this is going on? I don't know, this feels like a situation a teacher should say something about, like, hey, cut that out at the minimum. Because remember, these guys are like in what, 8th grade? They're up there. 1st grade? Yeah, they're like 5th, 6th grade. And they're bullying some fucking kids. Again, this is why you don't do this. The age difference is way too pronounced. Poised to strike. Doe screaming as Olivia's eyes widened, her snout opening to call out my name. I remembered saying how I wouldn't be scared. How this was nothing. That was a fucking lie. But who could blame me? A charging and enraged male Gigantanosaurus was a pants browning. Just say pants shitting experience, Anna. You're an adult. It was a pants shitting experience to the extreme. And all I could do was raise my scrawny claws, balling them into fists, preparing myself to fight for my life. Wait, what? Oh, I forgot. Jeremy's the other guy. Yeah, Jeremy's fucked up.
He's inky.
Except, the Pudgycondosaurus had gotten in the way and caught Jeremy by the chest between his horns. They have horns? Man, I'm not doing the proper research here. Oh, they do have 2 little horns, like little devils, like little devil boys. The Pudgycondosaurus had gotten in the way and caught Jeremy by the chest between his horns. The air getting knocked out of the bully's lungs before he was knocked back, falling to the floor. I blinked before seeing Olivia stand in front of me, 2 colored pencils held in her claws, reverse grip styles to acrobatically dissect my attack. Olivia, that's an impractical stance because you can't leverage your limbs like that. Who the fuck thought of that? You in your sleep, anime boy. Jeremy slowly stands up, looking at me and my 2 sudden bodyguards. I could already see the posts. That few went together were big. But even so, Jeremy looked ready to charge again, this time focused on the defending Connotaurs before a very manly voice called out in anger. What the hell's going on over here? We all looked to see Mrs. Prodyas returning with Warden, claws on her hips as she scowled. She's a lady in a fancy suit. Don't piss her off.
Tell me who's defending themselves and who's starting it. And I ain't doing this. You all getting punished, bullcrap.
Yeah, the Geneva Convention made collective punishment a bit of a pain. They could take it up to the Supreme Court, you know. Immediately, all those sharp digits point towards Jeremy, Mrs. Prodyas approaching to haul him by the elbow.
All right, mister. To the principal's office with you.
Jeremy looked shocked for a moment, before it turned to horror. For some reason, even if I barely knew anything about Jeremy, other than that he was a piece of shit bully, I can imagine why. After all, someone doesn't just rise out of bed and decide to be an asshole. There's always a reason. I recall the words of someone. Someone who would have wanted me to step in and at least say something. What? What? Like Spears? Hey! I stepped forward before Mrs. Prodyas pulled him away. Jeremy! He turned his head to me, his snout tightening with an angered glare, as if expecting the next insult now that he had been thoroughly caught and unable to physically retaliate. But that never came. I'm sorry. His eyes blinked. And Mrs. Prodyas too. I mean, she's just wondering how the fuck a 6-year-old has this emotional maturity. Anna, you're going to see a psychiatrist, and they're gonna ask why the fuck you're so weird. Well, you were being a total dick. And that you tried to bite my ass? Which is extremely gay, by the way. You're the real faggot here, ass eater. You don't deserve what I said to you. I don't think anyone does. Like I said, Anna, do your fucking homework. There was a pause for a moment if Jeremy was trying to analyze the sincerity before looking torn. He then turned away, eyes peering down as if in contemplation. Not really accepting my apology, but not rejecting it either. I'm suddenly conscious of Mrs. Prodyas staring at me.
Not bad, kid.
She smiled.
Not even a lot of adults can do what you did in the minute any wrongdoing, especially to a bully.
The teacher then frowned.
We're gonna have a talk tomorrow about your use of language.
Oh, crap. Oh well. Jeremy and Miss Prodyas leave as I turned to everyone else. And everyone clapped. I mean, that probably would have happened if this was some sort of movie or shitty or cringy Reddit. listen, I, music's going off for a hot minute. He had a fucking brain blast. But teacher, this isn't salt. This is sodium chloride. And then he ends up in the teacher's garbage can. He had it coming. Fucking cringy Reddit posts. But no, dinosaurs simply went back to their business. Olivia now lowering her guard as Warden and Doe opposed.
That was so scary,
cried Doe, her eyes wet with tears. Yeah, I actually agree. That was. I then looked to Warden. Good thing you got Mrs. Pee-Pee here in time. Anon, you just solidified her nickname for years to come. Oh shit! Apparently Shigeru Miyamoto turned 72 today. What an old man. I'm surprised he hasn't retired, but I guess he does live in Japan. You don't just retire as a Japanese person. Warden shakily nodded as I noticed the connoisseurs from before, finding the nearby vending machines a lot more interesting of a sudden. Clearly embarrassed for his conduct before. But really, it was what he had done after that had mattered. Hey, I called to get his attention. Well, thanks a lot. You saved my tail. Anon, you're a human. Why did you talk like this? Like, can I just point out that Anon has no body dysphoria? And the fact he doesn't seem to bother him at all. Like, either man is like 100% 50,000 apathetic, or, you know, the writer does not want to approach that subject of body swaps. Which is like a big part of it, technically speaking. You know, on top of the whole age problem that's going on. I'm just saying, like, it really just feels like they wanted to tell Anon is a babby story. Because we're not using his age that well, other than that he's weirdly mature. But nothing requires him to be an adult, you know. None of this requires Anon to be a certain kind of person. Maybe the references, you know, to Reddit and stuff, which don't even exist. Actually, we need to look that up. No, Reddit existed for 2 years by this point. Or a year or so. 2005, June 23rd. Yeah, that's fair enough, I guess. Areas served worldwide except Indonesia and China. Huh. Anyway. He slowly nodded before tilting his big head ever so slightly.
Are you seriously a first grader?
To that I simply nod, noticing the rest of his friends approach. Oh no, they're gonna play soccer out.
Hey Billy, wanna go play some soccer out in the field?
Billy the connoisseur scowled.
With you guys, seriously? You guys were calling me fat ass for the entire year.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's the first day of school. You mean last year they've been calling him that? They peered down.
Sorry.
He seemed to consider their apology for a moment before crossing his arms. Why are we focusing on this? Consider it if you buy him a diet soda. Why are they focusing on this? Like, there is no way Anon is going to be friends with this guy. Like, no, even in, like, a better world, the age difference is just, like, too fucking weird, you know? This man, as far as he knows, has at least twice as many years of being a conscious, living, breathing thing as Anon does. Like, we don't need to know this about him, okay? This doesn't matter. This would happen somewhere else. Don't put this into your story. It's just distracting. Unless Billy comes back and is part of the gang. Like, and that feels extremely weird. What is this group made of? It's made of 2 canon characters from 2 different games. It's made of 3 OCs, one of whom is too old. One of the canon characters is technically at least twice as old as he should be. Shit's fucked up. I mean, admittedly, if you want to focus on that as a concept, that's great. But as someone who's been overdoing the concepts and themes in a single story, like, you gotta pull the brakes, buddy. You gotta pull the fucking brakes. I felt like I had resolved that situation perfectly, but there was at least one dino who had asked me something, noticing Olivia's inquisitive gaze upon me. Why? I tilted my head. Why what? Olivia's snout tightens. This man loves it when snouts are, like, under pressure. They tighten, they curl, they, you know. Olivia's snout tightens. as if looking for the right words before speaking up again.
Jeremy was the mean one, but you were nice to him in the end.
Her eyes blinked, peering into mine.
Why?
I paused for a moment, considering how in a normal situation, how easy it would have been to just label someone a lost cause, to never try and understand them and just put yourself in the shoes for a single moment. I mean, considering that this is post-ending 1 anon, fuck you. You should know this. Especially since you've had at least 5 years to think about this shit in detail, because what else are you fucking doing, buddy? You've also helped Olivia. Like, by this point, Anon should just have made this part his own. Again, 6 fucking years, man. 6 years. Because that was difficult. More than difficult. After all, no one can live 2 lives and one is already hard enough. It's not even about being nice, just understanding. And then repeat that was spoken to me a long time ago by a certain principled Neanderthal that now resonated with me. Because I'm not the only dino in this world. But I am the only human. No, don't ask. It's not important right now. It comes up in the DLC. Olivia blinked, as did Doe and Warden. Everyone is fighting their own battles. Everyone is fighting their own battles, Mr. Moose. That's why you should always pack spare ammo for your M16. Feels like I dropped a bombshell of emotional growth on everyone. The young perspective expanded by a new and incredible idea. Well, that's what I like to think. In truth, my moment didn't even last 5 seconds before the school bell suddenly rang, indicating the end of lunchtime. Most of all food had gone uneaten, and my eyes were widening at that fact.
Oh, crap.
Joe cussed before the 3 of us rushed to the table, spending the next 15 milliseconds inhaling our snouts, stuffing our snouts with our lunches. Fucking snouts, man. But even so, I had a good feeling as I struggled to swallow down a half-chewed sandwich. A feeling that the rest of elementary school was going to be different for me this time around. A lot better. It's elementary school, Anna. Why do you give a shit? Oh. Like, isn't the whole point of American society, like, you will... God damn. It's so weird. I don't even know. I feel lost. It's like I have a map, but it's incorrect. I appeared to see Olivia actually scribbling despite our rush to leave. Sandwich nestled in the edges of her snout as her cheeks remained full. I managed to catch the bare glimpse of her drawing alongside many other doodles. The one she is working on right now is revealed to be Billy, squaring off against the corner of a wall, the inanimate location somehow having grown arms and legs to assume a boxing stance. And beneath it was the statement, fighting their own battles. Good enough. Close enough, I guess. The next chapter will be his time skip with lots of snippets of people growing with a surprise at the end. Oh shit, I love surprises. I love it when the surprise is $50 though. That's the best surprise. Can't wait for the time skip. Making Anon based like principal skiers. Anon, you have no enemies. What are we going to do with those pencils, Olivia? Can't wait to see Olivia try shanking someone to death. Because they called her drawings cringe. Oh, we saw this one. And then we got Spoopy Girl, who has the fucking ferret PFP. Jesus, you can't lose with a ferret PFP. How do you lose with that? There's just no way. You are a winner from the ground up. From the top to the bottom. This is where I go. Oh, male Allosaurus. Ugh. The fucking why are all the stuff? Why are Allosauruses always cocks in what you read, man? What are you reading? Those gotta become very, very close. And then someone in July next year said like they would have been finishing up. Wojak and Doomer. Wait a minute. Doomerette. Oh, and Warden. Ah, fuck. Come on, man. Ease up. I mean, I guess that proves that Billy and the other guy aren't coming back because, you know, their names aren't funny jokes. Wait, they're making a Fang plushie? Considering with the end of a recording, I should probably... The chances are minimal, but you can get modifications to make that Fang plushie a bit more usable. Like stuffing a brick in it so you can throw it at someone with great force. They'll never see it coming.